Hello, everybody, and welcome to Formula Fords here on a Monday night. We are back for season one of 2016. Yes, we know we haven't gone through the new year just yet, but this one will just slip nicely into 2025. We're here at the Snetterton circuit, and I have returned after a year away to commentate on the Formula Fords on Monday night. The Snetterton circuit qualifying is just about happening at this moment. We've got a very strong field of round about 3.9k for this soft race, and it should be a absolute thriller around Snetterton. Some strong names in here as well as the racing is going on. We're just going to go out to the circuit. As you can see, the temperature around 19 degrees. We're not expecting any rain. So for once in the UK, at the Snetterton circuit, we won't be getting any rain. It will be the 300 circuit that we use during this race, so not the old style, all the new parts being used. But at this moment in time, we'll just head out into qualifying and just see if anybody is still running. There's people are, but they're not, so we should be able to get a timing of the qualifying up. There we go on the left hand side. So it is Edward Buchanan who's gone quickest with 57.6. And I think everybody else has pretty much finished their session now. So we'll just be waiting for those results to go through for the grid. But as you can see, the Snetterton circuit looking wonderful today. Tight, twisty, especially in the infield, but fast and flowing on the outfield. Here we go, the grid for the opening race of the season. Edward Buchanan is on pole position for Canada. He's on pole by 0.1 of a second over Mikey Pollard. Frederick Surley, who returns as the sponsor for this stream with Filmbil, which we'll talk about more at another time, alongside Nido Braun. Nick Aronson and Alexander Ister is on row number 3. Neil McLean and Rob Johnson, who returns as well, on row number 4. Dima Sirkin and Zhu Shen up on the top 10. Reen Tysing and Erwin Paul are your 11th and 12th place runners. 13th going to Jack Stewardson and 14th going to Alistair Harper at the back of the field, who did not set a time. Wait now for the session to begin. We'll just have a look here. We're getting everybody out onto the grid apparently, but we can't see them, which is kind of strange. So we're just going to... Why is it not letting us... There we go. They're all there on the grid, but it's not letting us playing ball with us. But here we go. As we go out onto...
Green flag.
Got the green flag, and it is go, go, go. This is from the back of the field with Alistair Harper. We're looking down into turn number 1, and it is the leading car. This is car number 2 that's just going to jump into the lead. That's Edward Cannon on the inside line. Oh, we've got an accident at the back. That's car 13 going off. That is Jack Stewardson. Reen Tasing has jumped back to the pits already. Recovering there is Erwin Paul, the German, who has raced in the soft race a few times. So we'll see back what happened there in a few moments' time. But back at the front is Edward Buchanan, who's leading the way. Oh, there's another crash behind. Who's that? That's Alexander Istad and Dima Sirkin, I think, who are involved in that one. See, as they come round, that's Istad and just ahead of Erwin, just with Erwin Paul just ahead of you, sorry. So lots happening on this opening lap, but we'll go back to the front for now, and it is Edward Buchanan who leads. Then just behind is the number 1 plate of Mikey Pollard. Going to see how these lap times will come up. But the top 3 are starting to lead away now. It is a little bit of a gap there. You can see a number of meatballs downfield, but Edward Buchanan leading 0.4 of a second ahead of Frederick Surley. And those three have split away from McLaren, who's up into 4th place. Chen 5th, but has a meatball, so that will be a pit stop at some point very, very shortly. We can see there, it looks like the left front is not quite tracking correctly. We'll have a look there. No, that's just my eyesight, but he will probably dive into pits this time, which he does. And back at the front, Edward Buchanan leads across the stripe for the first time. Chen heads to pit lane. It'll be up to Paul, who also heads to pit lane, and Stewardson, whether they go on this lap or any one of the next 5. And it's off by Buchanan on the exit of turn number 1. Has to go and defend from Pollard into the hairpin. Pollard just taking a nice little run out of here at the moment and sort of working out what he wants to play at the moment. You don't have to start passing people straight away. It's nice to get away. These top 3 are getting away just slightly. As we look back, here's Niall McClellan, who is, as you can see, hanging on to a point. I mean, he lost a lot on the... Oh, that slide won't have helped it on board with him at that stage. But while everything has now calmed down from the opening lap, we should be able to go back and see what happened to Erwin Paul. That was him already flying off the track, so that didn't really help us too much. Let's see if we can see Ryan Heising is off the track, and he went so far they had to reset him. And then also we had Nick Aronson went off track. Dima Circuit, that's another driver who had an issue, and it just backed up there. That's a number 12 across of Nido Braun. So just everything backing up on the opening laps, and it is now back to the live action. Now McLellan looking at that top 3 who are all very close together. Oh, there's an actual look. That's Pollard up the inside at a very strange part of the circuit to get that. So I'm presuming there must have been a mistake by Buchanan, because now Frederick Surley's having a look. And Buchanan's to the pits. As Buchanan, there's a black flag for Buchanan. So let's see if we can see where that might have been. Here we go, this is Pollard passing for the lead. He goes up the inside. And I think in all that confusion, we've missed Edward Buchanan having a black flag from the start of the race, I believe. I think that must be for a jump start. Frederick Surley now up into 2nd place. The Norwegian trying to chase down Mikey Pollard. That's given McLellan, look at that, 1.7 behind now. He was 2.5 seconds a lap ago. So he's closing that gap down. That's 0.7 of a second on the previous lap. Now, was that something to do with the incident for Buchanan? I'm not too sure, but Buchanan is back out on the track ahead of Jack Stewardson and still going in 11th place at the moment. So how quick can Buchanan catch the rest of the field? He's a long way back. It's 13 seconds off the back of the field. We'll see how that works out. As we say, back at the front, Mikey Pollard leads the way. He is just ahead of Frederick Surley, who, as we said, is running. And before everybody jumps to me, oh, that's Surley off. Loops it round in the middle of the chicane, on the exit, sorry. And will he get back going in front of this group? He might just get ahead of Nick Aronson. Yes, he does. Into the bomb hole there. And in along the right-hand corner of Coram, he's going to stay ahead of Aronson, it looks like. It does. Yes, he will. Because Aronson won't look up the inside of there. It's not the best place to try and pass going into that corner. On board here with Frederick Surley, he will be brewing that mistake. He was up in 2nd place. He said to me before the start of this race, I'm not feeling too confident. I haven't had much practice, so we'll see how it goes. As wide goes Harper. Sorry, I missed this. Alistair Harper, up from last on the grid, is now P4 and challenging Dima Circuit, who probably has a little bit of damage from that opening lap. For third place, could this be on the podium for Harper already? After 4 laps, he's certainly trying hard now to try and make his way through. Right on board with the driver of Alistair Harper. And actually, there up the inside goes Frederick Surley, who made that mistake earlier. But 9 places so far for the Norwegian. And it'd be interesting to see how this gap, can Frederick Surley make his way through from the position he was second, fell to 5th. Can he get himself back up into that 4th place? We know he's got the speed to. We've seen him many a times. And look at the slipstream he's got off Dima Circuit, heading down towards the chicane. I'll go under the bridge. And who will come out in front? It's Surley. Yes, it is. It's surely Surley who takes that position away from Dima Circuit, back up into the podium position, and will now be trying to look to get away. Dima Circuit looks to be inside of a bomb hole, though. That's a brave move, and will stay the inside into Coram and down towards the final corner. Sirkin's going to take it, but Surley's still on the outside for the inside for the final corner. Sirkin breaks early and tries to dodge back, but now the damage down the front straight is really going to hurt for Sirkin, and I think Surley will well and truly take this position. We've also got Alistair Harper having another look now at the back of these 2 drivers. Aronson just holding on to the back of the field. Consistent driver. Easter is coming back. Rob Johnson's been dragged along with him. This is going to be a pack from 3rd down to about 10th place, 9th place it will be in a minute, with 3 seconds covering the entire field. Back at the front, we're 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes gone in this race, and it is a lead currently for Mikey Pollard, who's not being headed all the way along. Will he be able to be chased down by newcomer McLennan? It'd be interesting to see whether that will make a difference as the race goes on. You know, we've got drivers. We've been informed that Ed's black flag was for not clearing a slowdown. Thank you, Aunt Beatrice, in the chat for informing us of that. And at this moment in time, it will be. That is the grids at the moment, with back markers up the top. That's Erwin Paul, Green Tysing, and Jack Stewardson. But the gap back out to almost 3 seconds for Pollard. He's controlling this race at this time. As we look back now at this battle for 3rd place, and Surley hasn't been able to drop Dima Circuit, doing a great job with the damage, but was picked up on that opening lap. It's Surley, Sirkin, Harper, Aronson, Ister, Johnson, and Braun is just, Nido Braun, who was caught up in that opening lap as well, is just gathering on to the back of that group and will be being towed along quite nicely, I think, here at Snetterton. Lots of long straights as the fastest lap of the race goes in for Mikey Pollard at 57.6. Let's see if anybody in the slipstream can match this. I think there's a move there on Alex Ister, making a move around the outside of Nick Aronson into turn number 1. That's a brave move to make, and it's moved him up into 6th place. He's already having a look at Alistair Harper, who, as we say, is up 9 places at this moment in time, and really driving well to try and keep that top 5 position. It's all important in the iRacing scores. Obviously, for us in this soft race, it's all about winning this soft race, and that is what Mikey Pollard is doing right now. The gap is out to 3.1 seconds, and there's a 6-second gap back to this gaggle of cars that are going through Hamilton Bend right now, and it's going to be tough to see if anybody is going to make it past some of these. Ister might have the pace. Surley hasn't seemed to got the pace to pull away, and actually is dragging Circuit away from this pack slightly. And we're going to have a look at this. Is Dima Circuit. We'll go on board with Dima as they got the slipstream. Can they make it up the inside of Surley into the chicane? I don't think so with the damage. I think yes, the drag's just, he's going to go for it up the inside, And still on the right side is Surly. Oh, that was so close to contact, but they've made it both through. And now they go towards the bomb hole, and it's Surly on the inside. No collisions at this moment in time. And Sirkin has done it around the outside into Coram. And then we'll come down to the final part of the lap where Sirkin will be up back to third place, but knows the damage to the car, so Surly will surely come back here. Goes to the outside. The rest follow Surly actually down to turn number 1 and breezes past easily. So Surly now knows that if Sirkin passes him around the circuit, he can get it then back going into the final lap if they get the good enough run out straight. Sirkin now has to go back into the hairpin. This is great battling. Apologise to the rest of the field for not being able to take our eyes off this one at this moment in time. It's Surly. Sirkin on the outside. It's Ista coming back through. Edward Buchanan of 57.5, fastest lap of the race. Still 10 seconds off the back of the top 10 at this moment in time, as Ista goes to the inside of the hairpin. We're on board with Alexander Ista, trying to keep it on the inside at this moment in time. And we'll have a look as they come through this corner. Still hanging it out, but I expect to see Sirkin come back on the inside. No, hasn't been. Yes, has been able to make it. So Ista still hanging it out around the outside. This is letting Surly get away. Ista's still there. Has to run a little bit wide, but should get away with that. The slowdowns aren't as harsh as they used to be on some of these circuits, and it looks like Ista is through into 4th place ahead of Sirkin, and next is Harper from the back of the grid trying to make his way through. 14 minutes gone at this stage of the race. Into the bomb hole goes Ista, trying to close that gap on Surly. The top 4 really do have the pace to try and pull away from this pack, but can they do it with this strong slipstream that is around this Snetterton circuit? Surly, as you can see, has got a little bit of a gap away as they come across the line for the first time. So it's Pollard, then McLean, then there's Surly, Ista, Sirkin, Harper, Johnson, Aronson, and Nido Braun just hanging onto the back of this pack. Edward Buchanan about 20 seconds away from the back of this pack. I can't see him being able to pull a huge amount back. Might be able to get 10th off Chen, though, with Chen's damage. So Chen has pitted, so I would say Chen should be clear, but the lap times are showing Buchanan really closing in now on the top 10 position. Best timer so far is that lap by Edward Buchanan, who is really trying to charge onto the back, but this pack has just calmed itself down now, and this won't help him. If they're calm, if they're battling, he might be able to close in, but it doesn't look like it for now, as we head back to Mikey Pollard, who's absolutely flying at the front of this field, pulling away at a rate of knots 4.46, just ticking off the laps, just taking his time, pinpoint accuracy through. It's not all about being mega quick, it can be just about being consistent, because it is such a tight and twisty track around the infield, and then the fast flowing corners like Coram here, very technical, really difficult corner to try and get right, as there goes Pollard through the final corner onto pit straight for the 8th time. And we've got to give him a bit of coverage at this moment in time, because he's doing an absolutely great job. It is the 2nd place driver, Niall McLennan, up 5 places. The Norwegian trying to make his way through, try and close on the leaders, but lost 8/10 on that last lap. So I think now is the point where McLennan's saying, take it easy, let's bring it home, as we've got change for 3rd place, and Ista's gone up the inside of Surly and taken that 3rd place away. So it's 3rd place for Ista, 4th for Surly, 5th for Sirkin, and Ister managed to bring the rest of that group with him, and we do actually have a gap behind Alistair Harper now. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's have a look. Oh, it was Rob Johnson passing Nick Aronson, and then Nick Aronson passing back. So this was Rob Johnson down into a chicane, takes a position, and does he manage to keep it on the exit? Yes, he does. And then later on, a couple of laps later, Nick Aronson then makes a move down into turn number 1 where they've already lost that draft. So it'll be interesting to see where that draft was lost later on in the race. It's Ister just trying to pull that gap, running very wide on the exit. That won't help him. Surly will get a run now down into the cane. Will it be enough? He goes to the inside, left-hand side of Ister, takes the racing line away from Ister, and I can still hear the engine noise on the back wheel, but Surly is through, slides wide. Will he keep position? Ister trying to have a look into the bomb hole, doesn't manage to do it. That is Frederick Surly again taking that position back for 3rd place. What an intense battle this has been between all of these drivers. See on the track map on the right hand side, the whole pit straight is pretty much a lead that Mikey Pollard has over these drivers of 3rd place, all setting round about the same lap times depending whether they're in the tow or not. Demon Circuit using a bit of knowledge of these cars here to keep it going, and is that Frederick? Oh yeah, Frederick Surly went off track. We saw that. Amazing. And Rob Johnson has gone back past Nick Aronson for 7th place. This is up into the hairpin of Wilson, and through he goes. Slides a little bit wide, but manages to keep it over Aronson, and that is up into 7th place for Johnson. Will be on the final lap next time by, so we'll see if anybody wants to set up their moves with a lap to go. Aronson's still fighting away. Is that with Nido Braun? I think it is. Yes, it's a 9 of Johnson and the 12 of Nido Braun. They've enticed themselves into their own little battle. Now that they've fallen away from the 6th place Alistair Harper. As you can see there, Surly leading this pack down the hill. We've got a pack of 3, and Harper's sort of cut adrift from both of them, but still a brilliant drive from the back of the grid up into 6th place. Avoided all that contact on the opening lap, lost a couple of positions as the race went on. Still got Johnson and Aronson fighting out, and it's Johnson who's now ahead of Aronson. 9 ahead of the 5 going into Coram, but it will be for the last time. Next time by, so the clock is just going to run out with 10 seconds to spare. So actually, does that mean it's a white flag this time by? Not 100% sure on that, but we'll see as we have a look very quickly at our leader, Mikey Pollard. 6.2 seconds lead. This is dominant by Pollard in sort of conditions which we aren't really unpredictable. It's quite warm, it's grippy tarmac, and Snetterton really looking great in the sunshine here. Pollard down into the hairpin, 2nd hairpin on the circuit, and just driving it nice and smooth now, not really having to worry about anything else apart from himself, as Surly still has Ister on the back of him, trying to make it through. There's Frederick Surly looking at his way through. Can they do it? Can Surly hold off down this back straight? We'll have a look at this. Oh, and there's a little twitch there by Surly, and Ister's to the inside. It doesn't choose to make a move. Now that's an interesting choice by Ister. Does he think that he's got the slipstream effect well enough? He seems a bit far back. It's going to have to be a bit of a diver on board with Ister now. As he gets down to the chicane. No, he's not going to go through, so Ista now being able to make it a good run out of the corner. Nothing happening there, but this is Mikey Pollard who comes down the main straight for the final time, and he's going to win here at Snetterton. A clear victory by Pollard, unchallenged from the front after Buchanan fell off. And a new fastest lap on the final lap as Neil McLean comes home in second place. And we look back for the fight. Frederick Surley, where's Dima Sirkin gone? We'll have a look at that in a minute. Alex Ister comes home in fourth. Alistair Harper in fifth. And Dima Sirkin comes across the line there in sixth place. We'll try and have a look. Yeah, we've got Dima going off track, so we'll have a look at this now. Quickly look back. Down in the hair. Oh, and back end just comes round in the second part of the chicane, the mid part. Luckily only loses one position to Harper. But a good save to keep it out of the barrier by Dima Sirkin. And that should be, have a look a bit further back, there is Shen, Stewardson. Is Ren Tising. Expected a bit more from Ren as in this race, but just got caught up in that opening lap. Could have been very much a challenger for the top five. It will come home in a disappointing 13th place, just ahead of Erwin Paul. German backing it up in, sorry, they're all saying Norwegian, but it is German, sorry, in 14th place. I'm not sure why it's all saying Norway, so we'll yeah, everybody's from Norway according to SDK. So there we go for the start of this soft race season. We'll have a look at the results, and then if any of the drivers decide they want to join me, I have to sort that out for next time. But it is just the race results to come. And as we look at the results here, come on, results please. There we go. Is that coming up? There we go. Mikey Pollard takes a victory ahead of Neil McClellan, 7.1 seconds. The end result. 0.2 of a second covered Surley and Ister for the battle for third place. Both drivers probably going to be pretty satisfied at the way that race went, as they finished 5 seconds ahead of back of the grid driver Alistair Harper, who drove brilliantly on the opening couple of laps to avoid the incidents and get up into the top 5. Dima Sirkin carried on with damage to the car in 6th place, just finishing ahead of Rob Johnson after that last lap spin. And then 2 tenths behind Johnson was Aronson. The battling between Johnson and Aronson in that race, brilliant to see. Probably cost them a chance at Dima Sirkin on that final lap. Nido Braun come home in 9th ahead of Ji Shen. And then Edward Buchanan, pole position man, after that black flag slowdown ignored, down in 11th place. Jack Stewardson in 12th. Ren Tising in 13th. And in 14th is Erwin Paul. There you go for the Formula Ford on Monday nights. That is the first round at Snetterton. We'll be smoothing out the edges for the next round, which will commence in about 4 hours' time when the iRacing gods decide to change across to round 2. And we'll see you at the same time next week to see exactly how that gets on in the soft race.